We live in a generation where upper class neighborhoods are white. We live in a generation where you're surrounded by predominantly white people when you're trying to get a college education. We live in a generation where black people are supposed to be sport players or pursue things that only 1 in a million people can do. We live in a generation where black people can get shot based on the fear of a white man. We live in a generation where black people have been oppressed throughout history and it has impacted their dreams. I have interviewed a few people to see how they feel the oppression of black people has impacted their dreams. The first woman I interviewed was an African American woman who was working at Oak Brook. She was the only African American working in her job. She was seeking management and she worked there longer than other people, but yet she could not get the management position that other races were getting.
Even though I've been in the field twice as long as the other girls that I work with, I am 10 years older than all of them. They're looked upon as having more knowledge, more experience, and it's a very frustrating situation to know that you have the qualities and capabilities of being in a management position or being able to mentor somebody and you're not looked upon as the person to do so.
Another person I interviewed was an African American woman who went to Northwestern, which was predominantly white, and she dealt with a lot of problems because she was one of the few African Americans that attended the school.
We never really fit in, either with the white people or the black people. So from the standpoint of the white folks, it was always a question of, you got in because of affirmative action. Or, you know, how did you get into Northwestern? And it's like, I scored a 29 on my ACT, 1,300 on my SAT, National Merit Scholar, on the fucking newspapers. That's how I got into Northwestern. So it was always a situation where you felt like you had to prove that you deserved to be there, because everything was always questioned if you earned it or if it was just given to you.
Another person I interviewed is one of my closest friends who has been pulled over plenty of times just for being African American.
A couple days ago, me and my 3 friends, we got pulled over in the parking lot. The reason why the officer was charging our car, I don't know. But you know what? I think it's because of racial profiling, and it's something that's real. Now, something like this can defer one's dreams easily. Getting arrested, getting a record, it can prevent them from doing their dreams. I want to become an engineer, go to college. But if I get a potential record for something that was unjust, now what do?
I interviewed a rapper who works for a multi-millionaire white corporation, and he talks about how working for them has impacted his dreams of becoming a rapper.
I was working a job, a 9-to-5 job, and had the offer to open up for Nas. And I had to go put in the time, the day that I wanted to have off. I go put it in, it was a week before, but they told me it had to be 2 weeks notice, and they told me I couldn't do it. And you know, we had a certain amount of points, and if you build up a certain amount of points, you'll get fired, suspended, or, you know what I'm saying, what have you. And they told me I couldn't do it, but I just straight told them, like, I'm doing it. You know what I'm saying? So you can put me on the schedule if you want to, but I ain't gonna be here. And the manager that told me I really couldn't do it, because it was a black manager, she was cool with it, but the white manager, she was like, she don't even see what's the point in it, and it ain't that important, and you know what I'm saying? I should be more willing to be at their job working for them than working for me.
I interviewed an actor who talked about how he felt as though he cannot progress in his career as an actor because he's African American and white is generic.
I would audition for plays and musicals, and the directors would always say, you know, you were really amazing, I really want to cast you, but you're not right for the role. And a lot of times the roles wouldn't have a racial category, but for some reason, whenever a director sees a role that isn't written specifically for black, white, Asian, they automatically assume that they have to cast a white person in the role, which means that a lot of roles that I could have gotten, I didn't get, because in their minds, generic automatically defaults to white. So it happened then when I was younger, and it's still happening. That's why movies that we see now, like this new movie Gods, Kings and Gods, Exodus, you know, you have white people playing Egyptians. So we're losing on both ends. We don't get the generic roles, and we don't get the roles that are actually specifically written for black people.
Oppression of black people have been impacting dreams of many black people in this generation, no matter what it comes down to. Whether you have a job and you're looking for a raise, whether you're an actor or an artist that's trying to get signed and make something of yourself, whether you're in college chasing a college degree. No matter what your dreams are, if you're black, your dreams will be impacted by someone of a greater race simply because of the oppression of black people.